Welcome back to Track Talk, brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. I'm Scott Traylor, along with Kirk Elliott. We're the Racing Boys here at Racing Boys HQ. Joining us now on the show is a three-time World of Outlaws champion. Man, it was so great to see him wrap up that third championship down at Charlotte. Brad Sweet joins us now. Brad, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Man, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us, man. I know a lot of people pulling you. It's vacation time as well. What are you going to do during the off season? What do you do to lay back a little bit?
Nothing,
Right.
We do so much traveling that it feels like when you get home, you're on vacation. So just all the things that you don't get to do when you're, out on the road. Obviously, spend time with family, my daughter, all the things the chores around the house and the things that I want to get done. Obviously, you have a couple months here to kind of plan it out and get all that stuff done. So
Yep.
a lot of just being at home and just trying to, fix up certain things and build certain things and, enjoy the home life.
Yeah. Man, you've got to be thrilled. Has it soaked into you to think about the company that you've joined with you talk about the guys that have won it back to back to back, Steve and Donnie, but then you throw in Sammy. He had 3 championships. Do you think about the company that you've joined winning this third championship?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little surreal. It feels like it's all happened really quick. It's the first one seemed like it was, really tough and just such a draining year just because it was so stressful. And, then like last year just with COVID stuff and kind of a shortened schedule, and then boom, it's like, then this year's over and it's like all of a sudden 2 years feels like one. So, it's kind of wild. Those guys, I have a lot of respect for the history of the sport. Obviously, growing up watching Steve and Sammy and then Donnie, dominate. So
yeah.
It's just kind of one of those things that you just don't. I guess you'll look back and probably appreciate it a little bit more. It's hard to stop in the moment and kind of realize it.
Yeah.
But it's happening. We've got 3. It's really cool, and it's kind of just makes me hungry to keep going. We're have a great race team. We have everything in place to, go after number 4. So it's pretty cool. Obviously, we want to keep winning. Once you get there, you don't ever want to get knocked off. So I'm pretty happy, and sometimes I got to pinch myself to see my name next to those guys for
right.
sure.
But you think about your age. Man, you've got a lot of years left in this sport. You know what I mean? There's a possibility that you could win a lot more championships. Do you ever think forward and think about what you want to accomplish from here forward after winning the third championship?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I'm a little different than some of the the Steve Kinzers, and Sammys of the world. I think a little more of the Jason Myers in me. I think I don't really want to race forever.
Yeah.
I think I want to, win as much, but I think when it starts to slow down, I do feel like there's a next chapter for me. Obviously, with my daughter, with my family, and whether that's promoting races or we have a screen print business that we're doing. Kind of starting to dabble in a lot of other things and. I think it definitely gets my mind, thinking about the next chapter. So, I don't know how long I'll do it.
Right,
obviously not anytime soon, but it could be 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. You just don't really know. Obviously, it's real hard to walk away when you're winning championships, but I do feel like you get to a certain point and there's nothing, not a lot left to prove, and then also life. It's a tough grind, the Outlaw Tour. So it's one of those things. I think you do it for as long as you can, but you still need to think about the next chapter, and so that's what we're doing. We're kind of trying to set ourselves on a path to where when racing's done, we have other things up and running. So it's not a cold turkey. 7 years. That probably just means that I'll maybe do something a little less strenuous and a little less committed,
Right.
If the opportunity ever, arose at the right time. But, it's all down the road. You just really never know the future.
Yeah.
You never really know, what 1 year or 2 years and 3 years lies ahead. So for me, I just, we're focused on, obviously we got Napa back next year. I got my whole race team back. A lot of great things at Casey Kane Racing. So that's really the focus right now is trying to capitalize why we have this opportunity in front of us. We have every piece, and it's hard to get to this point. We spent years and years to get to this point. So it's not going to walk away until we feel like we're maybe the driver's slowing down or maybe the pieces aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
Three-time World of Outlaw champion Brad Sweet is joining us. Let's talk about 2021. You had 16 World of Outlaws wins, 17 if you count that Saturday night race at Knoxville. We remember that one. But most of these wins came early in the season. Just kind of talk about the season. You started off really strong, but here in the late part of the season, 2 wins since August. Talk about that.
That could be point racing.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I think, if you look at my MO the last, 2 or 3 years, I think you start off not really thinking about the points and you're racing hard. And then I think what happens is you kind of get to a point where the point racing starts to happen a little bit, take a little less risk. And, you really, one thing we did this year that was pretty cool was we finished every single lap of every AMA. So, I think when you're going to do that, you're going to take less risk and, not be bouncing off the wall at times, and pretty wild that we were able to do that. And I think some of that is the racetracks. In the fall it gets a little tougher, I think, to win at some of the tracks we go to, and the weather starts to change, and it's not as slick. We tend to do good in June and July and into August, but after the Nationals, the West Coast swing's always been good to us. We had a good West Coast swing, but we didn't get as many wins as we typically do out here. And, so that kind of was disappointing. We had a goal to win 20 races, and we were definitely on the path to do it. Just didn't get the job done down the stretch. So something that we want to improve on for next year for sure.
Let me ask you this. I raced for 35 years, and out of those 35 years, maybe about 10 or 12 of them I raced for points. And I always found it very stressful at the end of the year. In fact, it took a little bit of the fun out of racing for points. Do you ever feel like that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's when I talk about not racing for full time. That's kind of what's on my mind, is not worrying about the points and just going to the big races and racing for, money. But the points are a big deal to a lot of, it's kind of everything to a lot of the drivers is, everybody wants to win the points. You want to be the champion of the series, and so that's just that's part of it. It's when in the early part of my career, I wasn't ever in the points. I didn't have the stress. It's just kind of, but you always dreamt to get to this point, and you worked hard to get here. So it's one of those things. It's a little bit of it's just give and take, I guess. It's just a different deal when you kind of race for points, and it's just a different mindset it takes to be a champion. And we're in a good spot, and I'm definitely proud of doing it 3 times, and obviously hope we can keep doing it.
You won the Knoxville Nationals. You're a 2-time winner of the Kings Royal. You won these big time races. Championships or the big crown jewel races the most thrilling for you?
I think at this point, I think getting that first championship, kind of, takes any doubt away from anybody that you can be a champion. Right. Now I think at this point it's winning the big races. It's definitely, Kings Royal and Knoxville Nationals are, just unreal events, and it's just an unreal feeling when you can win those. So Knoxville, we did it in 2018, and we haven't been, able to get back there or be, super close. Really, the last few years, we finished 3rd this year, but didn't feel like we were necessarily in contention. So, I'd love to get back, to Knoxville Victory Lane. That's a tough place to win at. That's a tough race, and it's no greater feeling than to win the Knoxville Nationals.
Yeah, no doubt. The Chili Bowl kicks off January 10th. You've won some prelim nights at the Chili Bowl. We've done the broadcast for the last 16 years. We've handed it off to Flo starting last year, and it's been a great relationship with those guys. But the thought about winning the Chili Bowl, that's got to be on the bucket list, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge event for sure. I think when I was a midget racer, I was definitely, meant a lot more to me.
Yep.
I just think that the crazy thing to me is the difference, at these big sprint car races. We're paying $175,000 to win and $150,000 to win, and
right.
To be honest, I'm a money racer. I race for a living, so it's the Chili Bowl. I really wish would kind of get on par with the kind of event it probably should be. With
how much,
the amount of fans that are there, and
how much do you think the Chili Bowl should pay, Brad? What do you think it should pay?
I honestly just, as a racer that goes and races there, you got to be there for 5 nights.
Yep.
I kind of think that it should at least pay $5,000 to start the A main. You're beating out 200 and something other people to start the A main, and then, honestly, the winner's share, should reflect a little bit of the inflation that's happening. How about $25,000 or
Gotcha.
$50,000 to win? I think with just, as a racer, $50,000 to win and $5,000 to start would, for how competitive and how much work it is. I think would put a little more prestige in it for me. I understand why Emmett doesn't do it. He's sold out every night and has 300 cars, so not a lot of incentive. And I know it's a high overhead business, bringing in dirt and doing everything he's done, and they do a great job, So
Yep.
I just, from a racing standpoint, I get asked about the Chili Bowl a lot, and that's kind of my answer is just I don't feel the prestige necessarily that maybe some of the other people feel, and that's because I'm doing it to, for a living. When I leave my family for 7 days to go to the Chili Bowl, and we're only racing for what we can race for, on any night with the World of Outlaws, and, you see all the people there and the time invested, it's, just doesn't quite have that feel to me anymore.
Let me ask you this question. Would you limit the amount of cars? Do you think 300 cars is too many cars for the Chili Bowl?
Well, I think they should use the Monday and possibly even the Tuesday as a way to maybe race into a prelim night.
Mm-hmm.
With maybe if you haven't made it into a D main or a certain main event, you make guys try to almost transfer. Use it as a kind of a just to maybe make it a little more competitive, and the guys that do it for a living, don't have to worry about starting behind a guy that's never sat in a car or, decided to rent a, car or build one in his garage, So some of that to me takes away from the Chili Bowl. It's a great event. I love it. I love the fact that anybody can race. So I don't want to sound like a person that's not respectful of the event or the sport. But
no, I
do
get that.
feel like as a fan, and as a racer, they come to watch the guys that, are trying to win the race, and you get a lot of, stuff that, maybe just kind of there to have fun. And so there's a lot of different things going on there. So yeah, I think there would be, ways to look at it if I ever, was involved in, running the race. I would probably look at some things differently, but you got to respect what Emmett and his crew have done there.
Yeah,
hey,
no doubt.
They built something that's sustainable for sure.
For sure.
How do you feel about your sisters getting about as well known as you are around racing circles? Did she do one of those shotguns for your championship?
I don't know. I wasn't with her because she was out with Kyle at Phoenix, but no, it's really neat. It's always a good family atmosphere, and they have a good thing, going. Obviously, Kyle's brand is really big right now, and
no doubt.
she's a part of all that, and supports him and the kids and everything. So no, it's a great family dynamic. We're all loving racing, and we're all competing against each other, but it's cool to watch. Kyle and Caitlin for sure.
It's good to see a lot of the dirt fans getting back to the NASCAR tracks, and a lot of that has to do with Kyle and Christopher as well. I know a lot of guys like to go watch them race, so it's good to see the fans back in the stands, and Kyle has a lot to do with that. So, all right, Brad, well, thanks for taking the time with us today. We sure appreciate it. Congratulations on being a 3-time champion. Good luck in 2022 and trying to win that 4th championship. I think you're up for it, and wouldn't be surprised if we're talking to you again next year about this time.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on, and look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.
All right.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
Brad.
Thank you. There you have it. Brad Sweet joining us here on Track Talk. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more in a moment. Stay tuned.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Looking for a job or career change? Let Sports Radio 810 help you out with the 810 Job Connections program. Go to the community page at 810WHB.com and check out the list of partners that are hiring. Is your business wanting to hire? Email Sandy Cohen at scohen@unionbroadcasting.com to see how you can be a part of the 810 Job Connections program. See job opportunities from great companies like Hy-Vee, Bob Hamilton, Plumbing, Heating, AC, Rooter, and Electrical, and Domino's Pizza. Go to 810WHB.com/community.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru. Everybody wants your car right now, but we have all experienced a dealership losing our keys or dealing with the dealership runaround. At Lee Summit Subaru, we want to provide you a better way to sell your car. Introducing the 5-minute appraisal. Any make or model, just bring it to us, and in 5 minutes, you'll have a real cash offer. No strings attached. Aren't you curious how much your car's worth? Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamus Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. Holidays will be here before you know it, and M. Shamus is ready to get a jingle from you. From our all-you-can-eat hot and cold gourmet salad bar to our 12 cuts of beef, lamb, pork, or chicken. Go to mshamus.com to order our famous Brazilian glazed holiday hams in advance or set a holiday party date for a table of 1 to a party of 100. Go to mshamus.com and discover the joy of dining.
At Metropolitan Community College, we are advancing Kansas City one student at a time. With 3 brand new state-of-the-art career technology centers, MCC is reimagining education and its impact on the development of the Kansas City community. Learn more about innovative technology programs and additional career paths that are perfect for today's job market. You can enroll now for spring classes, so explore your opportunities today at mcckc.edu. Metropolitan Community College. Your college, your future.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Everyone knows Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa sale. Did you know it's also time to save hundreds, even thousands on patio furniture, pool tables, shuffleboard, and more? You can beef up your entertainment area with couches, sectionals, and theater seating now on sale at Family Leisure. Make it a September to remember with special 810 listener pricing at Family Leisure. Spas, basketball goals, play sets, trampolines, everything for family and fun together on sale at Family Leisure. K10 and Ridgeview in Olathe.
913-888-7727. Awesome.
Welcome back to Track Talk here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Well, we got a little problem with our Facebook page, so if you normally watch this on Facebook, where most people do, we're having a little problem over there. So you can watch this on Twitter, YouTube, or you can watch it on racingboys.tv or racingboys.com for that matter. We are working on trying to get that figured out. We're not sure exactly what the problem is.
And of course, we're going out everywhere here on Sports Radio 810, WHB, which shoots out about as wide a swath as any radio station in Kansas City.
Well, it does reach farther than any radio station in Kansas.
It does.
Yeah.
So,
have you ever done that, Kirk? You ever driven, see how far until the signal drops off?
Yeah, I've driven all the way to Ames. I can pick it up. In Tulsa, we've heard it in Tulsa.
Knoxville.
Yep.
I've heard it in Russell, Kansas before.
Yeah, it's
it reaches out.
It's
there.
a blowtorch.
So for all the people that are listening to us out in the rural areas, thank you so much. I know that we're not sure how many of those people there are, but we know there's a lot of them. We know there's a lot of grassroots motorsports fans that live out in rural areas, so we want to thank them for listening in to the show as well. We want to remind everybody, Kirk, that my new show will be starting January 10th, Mostly Motorsports. And you say, mostly motorsports? Yeah, well, we're going to be talking about music, sports, and we'll talk about current events, what's going on in the world. One thing we're not going to talk about is politics and religion. We're just not going to do that.
Good idea.
Leave that to somebody else to talk about that stuff. But we'll have all kinds of special guests. Austin O'Neill is going to be one of our producers. Todd Surprise will be helping us back here at the studio at Racing Boys HQ. So looking forward to doing it. It will start... The show will debut January 10th at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Monday through Friday, 11 to 12:30 p.m., 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., midday show. Be Monday through Friday, and it's all brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil Products. Again, great relationship that we have with Lucas Oil. They've been with us now for 12 years, I think it's been, Kirk. So we're looking forward to getting the show up and off the ground. We'll debut it January 10th, Monday, of the Chili Bowl Midget Nationals.
Great place to debut it, no doubt about it. Yeah. I also want to remind everybody that it was Scott Traylor who said that Kyle Larson, this is about 10 years ago, you got to watch this kid because he might be the greatest young talent I've ever seen. I remember you saying that.
And you hadn't heard of him, really, to speak of, except on our broadcast.
Right. Heard the name. Yeah. This was more than 10 years ago. This was, before 2011 is when he really stepped up to the plate. He won Belleville that year and I think that was the year he went to the Four Crown Nationals and won 3 of those races. So, but you were on him even before that because you knew this kid and saw him race back.
He was 15 when I met him.
Yeah. And you were captivated by his talent way back then, even.
Well, Kirk, when you see something special, right? When you see somebody that's doing things that not other people have done in a sprint car, you take note of that, right? And I'll never forget one of my favorite stories about Kyle Larson. He was sleeping in his toter home. He was about 15 years old. His dad was working on his race car. They had their toter there. And I'm traveling with the national tour, and I think it's about 2010, 9, 10, somewhere in there. And I walk up to his dad, and I say, hey, is Kyle around so I can do an interview with him? He says he's in there sleeping. I said, oh, okay, well, I'll come back. He said, nope. I'll go in there and wake him up. He needs to get up anyway. And so Kyle come out with this sleepy face on. We did the interview with him. I wish I could find that interview because he was 15 years old. But, Kirk, we were the first ones to tell Lee Spencer, that Kyle Larson was going to be special someday. And, oh, by the way, not to pat my own back here a little bit, but at the start of the year, Kirk, when we all were predicting how many races Kyle Larson would win, you said 1 or 2.
That's what I thought, yeah.
I said 5.
I thought he could win multiple races, and you did say 5.
You said 1 or 2.
Yeah, I did.
That's really, is that multiple when a guy says
no, I thought
thought
he could win
multiple. It's not, is
races.
It, Austin? That is not multiple. That's a single digit, if I remember right. 1 is a lonely number,
I
right?
thought 1 race. Well, I said 1 or 2 races, but I thought he could win multiple races in that ride. I mean, and we've said for years when he was driving for Chip Ganassi Racing,
he always tries to make himself look better. Always.
Well, I'm making you look better. So I'm giving it to you this morning, my friend. You're the guy that saw him before I did.
Well, to be honest with you, Kirk, I felt like Chevrolet was moving in the right direction last year. And I felt like that with the talent of Kyle Larson and the backing of Rick Hendrick, that there was no chance that guy wasn't going to win a lot of races. Now, did I think he was going to win 10 races? Absolutely not. I never thought in a million years that he'd win 10 races in the championship his first year with Rick Hendrick. But this comes down, and this is the one thing that I want people to chime in on. Kirk, again, I have this issue, and we'll talk about it with Lee Spencer here in a little bit. But to me, growing up in the period I grew up in, A.J. Foyt, Mario Andretti were the men, right? Those were the guys that did it all. Won at Indy. Mario Andretti won in Formula One, won the championship. I think Kyle Larson, as great as he is, and I appreciate it, and I understand Tony Stewart said in a tweet, the greatest driver I've ever watched race.
Greatest race car driver I've ever seen, he said.
I'm a little uncomfortable with that because I know how good of friends he is with A.J. Foyt, right? That's the reason Tony Stewart runs the 14.
Didn't Tony Stewart want to hire Kyle Larson, but Ford put a stop to it? If I recall, Tony Stewart wanted to put Kyle Larson in one of his cars. Did he not? Before Hendrick did.
Say that again?
Tony wanted to put Kyle Larson in one of his race cars, but Ford put a stop to it.
Well, I would say that that he just couldn't pull it off.
Couldn't do it.
How can you compete against Rick Hendrick? When Rick Hendrick calls you and says, listen, I'd like to bring back the 5 car, and I'd like to bring back the colors of Ricky, how do you say no to that?
You can't say no to that. You got to say,
And you got to also look at the success the Ford program is having right now as well. Not all that good.
Yeah, he wouldn't have won 10 races
Fords,
at Stewart-Haas, that's for sure.
How many Fords won this year, Kurt? Do you know?
You had Brad Keselowski, he won the Talladega, the first the spring race in Talladega. Ryan Blaney won 3 races this year, back-to-back wins at Michigan and Daytona, and he won earlier in the year at Atlanta. And you had Joey Logano win the dirt race at Bristol.
Right.
And no Stewart-Haas win this year. Mm-hmm. Kevin Harvick went the whole year without a win at all. So you had 5 wins by Ford this year. 6, if you count Eric No, Stewart-Haas did win a race this year. Eric Almirola won at New Hampshire.
Only one race, though.
Right, New Hampshire.
Stewart-Haas Racing only won 1 race all year.
1 race all year.
Now, would you have ever thought that Kevin Harvick wouldn't win a race?
No, never would have imagined that. He did perform well at the end of the year, but not good enough to win.
Well, I think he performed good at the end of the year because he was driven. He was angst up, right?
And Tony Stewart put out
after the whole Chase Elliott thing, right?
Right. Tony Stewart put out a video the other day apologizing to the race fans and said, hey, we're going to get this fixed. This is not to our standards. You may be upset. You're upset. We're upset.
Nobody more upset than Tony.
Right, and just wanted to let you fans know that we're on it, and we'll get better. And, of course, with the new car coming out next year, I think everything's all up in the air of how this is all going to go with the next-gen car and how that's all going to work out.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, there were 3 things that I thought propelled Kyle Larson to the championship. First of all, on Saturday, he won the pole, which gave him the best pit spot.
Well, hold on now. Let me just stop you right there, Kirk. Let me ask you this. Because they lined up by points every week. Did that give Kyle Larson a sizable advantage starting up towards the front every week?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You'd have to admit that.
Yeah.
That starting up front every race because you won the week before helps. But the fact that he went into the final race and they all had to qualify, he put down a heck of a lap on Saturday, won the pole, got that good pit spot, and I don't think there was any way he was going to win this championship if that brake rotor hadn't come out onto the racetrack and brought out that yellow flag. They came in, busted off that great pit stop there with about 30 laps to go, got him out front. If that yellow flag doesn't happen, Martin Truex Jr., I think, is the champion.
I'm not sure. You know, how big a lead did he have at that point, Kurt?
Yeah, I mean, he had enough of a lead. He and his teammate Denny Hamlin there, 1 and 2, and Larson was mired back in 4th place.
Is Denny Hamlin? I'm going to say it. Denny Hamlin's just not that bright.
Well, he created enemies in the next to last race of the year.
He's not that bright. I mean, all you have to do is listen to what he said before the race at Phoenix. What did he say? He loves turmoil, right?
Now, yeah, why would chaos?
Was it chaos the word he used?
He said, "I thrive on chaos."
Now, why would anybody?
I don't believe that. I said that week ago. I said on this show a week ago I didn't believe it.
I do believe it. I believe it because all you got to do is look at the stuff that goes around Denny Hamlin, right? He implodes. He makes mistakes on pit road. He makes mistakes out on the racetrack.
Yeah, but how did all this chaos work out for him in the end? Not so good.
Well,
I don't think it cost him the championship in the end, but he didn't win. He's not the champion.
He was up there contending, though.
Yeah, he had a chance at it.
Yeah, you have to give him.
I mean, I don't think he made any mistakes on Sunday, but he didn't win.
Yeah.
And Kyle Larson did. When it came down, here's the bottom line. When it came down, the stakes are on the line and the pressure to perform, not only Kyle Larson, the driver, performed, but his pit crew performed. Yeah. And once he got out, stayed out in front, he made it happen.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
And we're working on trying to get Kyle Larson on the show.
Yeah, we'll get him on here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He's not taking the rest of the winter off. He's going back racing here another week or two.
He's going to be out there in California, right?
Yeah,
Turkey night. He'll be there at Ventura. He's probably going to go to Bakersfield.
I would say he'll probably be at
Merced.
He'll be at Placerville next weekend.
Yeah.
For the Hangtown.
Man,
race.
I wish I could afford to go out there and just hang out there for a week.
Be fun.
That would be a lot of fun, man. That's some good action going to be out there.
So is it Placerville, Merced, and then
Ventura.
Mm-hmm. So, and then a lot of big
Ventura
races.
is the one track that I want to go to more than any track, maybe in the country, because it's on the beach.
Right. Beautiful, beautiful location.
I would just love to go to that racetrack. I've not. Scotty Cook and I at one time traveled down Pacific Coast Highway 101, and we stopped by there and looked at the racetrack, but we didn't get to see any racing there. Beautiful, beautiful backdrop.
It is. Very picturesque. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, Kyle Larson will be out there trying to win another turkey night, and we'll see how it goes.
Does he win it?
Why not? I say
90
yes.
seconds, fellas.
I'm going to think.
I say yes.
You know, last night, Buddy Kofoid was looking pretty sporty, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's, Buddy had an injury earlier this year, and that really set him back. We didn't hear much from Buddy for a long time.
Right.
And I don't think he's quite back even 100% yet. He's getting closer, but back to his true form.
Right.
But for a lot of this year, we didn't hear much from Buddy because of that injury.
All right. Hey, folks, again, we're having a little problem with our Facebook page. You can still watch us on Twitter. You can watch us on YouTube. Go to our YouTube page or our Twitter link on racingboys.com, and that will get you to there. Or you can watch it on racingboys.com as well. I was just informed that Steve Post is not going to be able to join us. Had a family emergency come up.
Oh, my. Okay.
So we hope everything's good with Steve Post.
We'll reschedule with Steve.
Yeah. But we do have a nice interview with Lee Spencer coming up here in hour number 2. We hope that you'll join us for that.
It's really early where she's at.
She's in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
30.
All right. So we thank everybody for tuning into the show. We appreciate it. Don't forget, hour number 2, you can watch it on Twitter, our YouTube page, or racingboys.com. I want to thank Blake back at Sports Radio 810 WHB, Austin and Todd, my partner Kirk Gillett. We'll see you right around the corner. Hour number 2 of Track Talk, brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Your Kansas City Acura dealers are partnering with quarterback sensation Patrick Mahomes in support of his charity, 15 in the Mahomes.
You too, fellas.
A foundation dedicated to improving the lives of...
So take pride in caring for your car and pass that pride and knowledge to the next generation for years of smooth, reliable driving on the long road ahead. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.